probably shouldn't have press confirm and go live. I'll be honest, your mic is a little bit messed up. But hey, what's up, live stream?
Well, in what sense? In what sense? In what sense?
It sounds like both microphones are on, like, at the same time, somehow. Sorry, beginning of stream. I totally shouldn't.
It shouldn't be, though, because I have the other one off. What's the both? Like
sharing your... I mean, you could probably just listen to the stream. I mean, Space, what do you think? Am I just crazy?
Yes, because... Hold on, I guess.
I also should have just set this up too, but whatever. We're only going to be live for an hour, so at least we got to get it quick. So, your topic. There you go. So if anyone wants to donate, we'll do your topic. It's $2. You can do more, obviously. Hello, Space, obviously.
I do hear it.
Yeah. Thoughts?
I don't know.
It definitely doesn't sound like your good microphone.
And I don't know what mic is being picked up, because it doesn't... I mean...
Well, I mean...
I'll just turn this off and turn it back on. I'll bear with me for a minute.
Okay, Microsoft support tech. Oh, and he's gone. Okay, well, anyways. Space, how you doing tonight? Hey, Chad. A shame I don't have money in this phone. Nah, I wouldn't want to waste money just to get my podcast. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, well, anyway, shout out the guy that I was debating on AI. So if anyone wants to read that, we had a very insightful conversation. I'm not being, like, wrong with that or whatever. Like, I'm actually being serious. No, which one is it? I could probably just find it. Guy going here. There's a shout out. This person, Hey Krios, on this post.
Did that do anything?
No. Maybe talk more.
Hold on.
I mean, maybe if I leave it rejoin. Okay. Well, the plan was to react to Cosmos tonight, Ikimoto's other manga series, but we're not doing that. So.
Did this do anything?
Okay, you should be good now. So, Is this Naruto or Boruto? Well, if you look at the title, everyone, Boruto TBV Tech Chapter 15 makes no sense. Let's talk about Boruto. So, okay, I guess this one should be quick. I just post this in rewrites when watching your videos. I swear to God, whenever I'm watching a Naruto or Boruto videos, that's when I'm most active in terms of writing down topics.
I feel you though. It's like that's where I do the same thing. That's where I'll come out. Like sometimes if I watch like a Daigo video, I won't necessarily write his point.
Yeah,
but
it makes me think of my own.
Something he says will make me think of something else to write down.
Exactly.
But
yeah. Because, I mean, you know, you made the video. This has nothing to do with anything you talked about at all, period. I just thought of it while watching your video. So this rewrite is, does Kaguya thematically work better in Boruto? Before getting into it, Kaguya obviously has two different themes going on. The Shinobi history theme, which is the more prevalent in your face one, and also, like, parent and child. That's not really a theme, but more of, like, subject matter. That... just so happens to transition perfectly into Boruto, so maybe she does belong better in Naruto, just to be the end there when the beginning of Boruto is about that. But, like, you can clearly see what I'm going for here. So there's multiple routes we could go. We could just move her to Boruto exactly as is somehow. We could split up the themes so that Shinobi history is just with Kaguya at the end of Naruto, and then parent and child is in Boruto either through Kaguya, through a completely new character that we're just giving Kaguya's parent-child theme of the Indra Asha stuff. But then that gets weird, because how do you do the end of Naruto, since I feel like that ties into Shinobi history? Or do you give it to, like, Momoshiki, or Urashiki, or Kinshiki, or Jigen technically already has it, you don't need to give him this? Or, I don't know, freaking Code, or someone else, a villain that already exists. So what would you do?
So... to start, at least, what I would say, as the story currently is, parent-child stuff obviously just kind of makes more sense. Boruto is a big prevalent thing. And then the shinobi history, though, I would say currently is more making sense to be in Naruto. That said, that doesn't mean Boruto doesn't have the potential to where they could make that a very good theme. Because first of all, you have the Shibai history stuff that you can tie into this. The way Boruto is almost like using shinobi history as well as futuristic stuff, like Boruto the character, to make himself what he becomes. And then you can tie in shinobi history in that way. There's a lot of things you could do, but as it is, I would say it makes more sense in Naruto. Just from a lore perspective, for one, and then the thematically. As far as taking these
As far as taking these
eyes, thing
oh, you cut out, Kamui? As far as taking these eyes,
but that might feel too repetitive.
Okay, well, you meant ideas. You cut out. As far as taking these ideas, blank.
Oh, would like give a different character like Mabushika or whatever the parent-child thing from Kaguya, but you could then maybe argue that's just too repetitive for Boruto, just having Boruto and Suzuki, bad parent and child. Another Boruto and Suzuki, bad parent and child. Like, it's like, okay. Let's at least do it with different types of characters, so you can make that argument.
You could argue that it should be there so much that it basically is there with Momoshiki and Kinshiki, despite not being there at all. Like, people just think it is, even if it's not.
But I will say this, though.
Yeah.
In the way Momoshiki and Kinshiki's is done is completely different from Kaguya and Hagura Mahamura and Jigen and Kawaki. All three are different, in fact, which is good.
Yep.
So, granted, with that argument, you could say, okay, I guess Kaguya's relationship with Hamura and Hagura is different enough from Ishiki and Kawaki to where it's fine, and I'd say that's actually very fair because it is different. But yeah, so I think both realistically could work. I think it works better in Naruto.
I agree,
but that doesn't mean you couldn't make it work in both in some manner. So the question is what you would do in that case.
Because it feels like the parent-child stuff in Naruto is more of like a vehicle to better express the shinobi history theme. Because Kaguya, the originator of chakra, is looking at Naruto and Sasuke as Indra and Ashura when they're Naruto and Sasuke, their own individual people. Despite having Indra and Ashura within them, they're more than just that.
Yeah, it's like
they write shinobi history.
Kaguya has like she has one of the more interesting parent-child ones in the sense that it's not just love, it's not just object. In this case, object is like the chakra viewpoints, the object. It's both, and that's what makes hers. Even though she has the least amount of focus on it of all of them, it's not even really the point.
Yeah.
But hers actually is the most interesting, and it would be arguably more interesting. Now, you're going to probably disagree, at least somewhat, but I would say Kaguya definitely shows more, at least if you're using the anime, Kaguya shows a lot more genuine love towards her kids than Ishiki did with Kawaki. You could argue it would have been more interesting if Ishiki showed a little bit more of that, like, back and forth to where
like
he actually does love Kawaki, but also views him as an object, where you genuinely do both, like in a genuine way. That could have been more interesting, but you could argue that would muddy the waters too much.
Like
maybe
in
it's
Tokyo
too
Revengers.
complicated for Ikimoto.
Yeah, that's what they did with Taiju, in my opinion.
Like Taiju.
Yeah, that also might make it too similar to Tokyo Revengers, but I think that's okay. They could have just done something a little bit interesting.
Well, not really, because when was Tokyo Revengers made?
No, I'm just saying in general, like, for us, not for like Ikimoto to see that he'd be doing that. I'm just saying for us, it would have been maybe too similar.
Well, okay, so what I was gonna say is well, really, I'm just saying it's like Kaguya, so like which game?
That's okay. So okay, I have an idea. If we're gonna change anything at all, what if we move? Because I think this already works with Jigen having that one tier stream after the Naruto and Sasuke fight. If you just slightly tweak that as well to fit in line with this. You move Kaguya's cry to Ishiki crying. because Kaguya hated Indra and Ashura, like she loved him as her child, but like at that point she just did hate them, which is weird and funny. It almost makes less sense that she's crying there. It makes more sense if Ishiki would be crying, comparing those two.
What scene would you do for Ishiki crying?
That's a good question.
Like, in relation to Kawaki? Would it be like when he beats Kawaki? Would it be like some other scene around Kawaki? Like, when would you do it?
Would you have it be Jigen or Ishiki?
Okay, so there's two things you can say.
Yeah.
So first, given the way they do it, the crying as is more so meant to be Jigen's crying, not Ishiki. Now it's a pain, exhaustion related thing, seemingly. Maybe it's emotion, but the point is it's Jigen crying. With that in mind, you could argue that having it be in Jigen sort of muddies the water, takes away from Ishiki crying in the sense that, oh, well, that's Jigen crying because he's beating his son, not Ishiki. You can get that vibe. You can argue takes away from the point.
Yeah.
But
well, plus again,
I mean,
like
you have
how
more
would you
opportunities if you do Jigen?
Because the point
like,
of Jigen crying after Naruto and Sasuke is that is Jigen, not Ishiki, obviously. And I feel like that would, if you have both, that makes that extremely weird in that case. It almost cements that idea.
So you wouldn't do that. You would have to change it to be Ishiki. Well, just Ishiki genuinely
in that case,
he wouldn't say anything.
I think this works with like the abuse thematics of it would be when he goes to hug Kawaki there at the very end. He's crying because Kawaki's using ninjutsu instead of relying on what Ishiki taught him and gave him so painstakingly so. Because it matters and cares so much to Ishiki. And Kawaki is just like spitting in his face by using Naruto's own techniques against him as if he thinks it's going to work. I think that could work.
And you know what, though? I would argue that almost makes this scene more impactful because imagine like Kawaki's reaction, like Ishiki's crying over it. He'd be like, he's just like genuinely crying, like, Kawaki, after everything I've done for you, like, I like this and that, blah, blah, blah. I gave all this stuff and you're just throwing it away using ninjutsu, whatever. It's just that kind of goes hard.
No, that totally works actually, though. Because it's about what each of them give Kawaki. Both Jigen and Naruto give Kawaki power, but it's not about the power. It's about what's behind the power. Almost just like what we're discussing with the parent and child Rasengan in the previous stream. We clipped that into a video at this point, but yeah, it's not about the power. It's about what goes into it. And for Jigen or Ishiki, it's about himself, saying he's crying there for himself. Whereas Naruto, he was doing it for Kawaki.
But having him genuinely look sad just makes it more impactful than just taunting him. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. No, well, I mean, I think it works especially going into the hug. He's literally hugging him there. You can argue, oh, it's just to put his karma seal on. It's not just for the karma. So, like, visually for the audience, it's a parent-child hugging the child. Like, it's clearly what they're going for.
And, no, I understand. The reason why I didn't Ikimoto do this besides not coming up with it, or Kodachi, if this was still his writing for those last 3 chapters, well, probably because they were going for Ishiki being, like, a pure villain. It's just evil. That's just it. That is what they were going for, and I get that. But I'm a fan of conflicted villains where even if they are generally just evil, having a little bit of that, like, little bit of humanity in them that can almost make them look even more crazy can sometimes be really good.
I mean, I can just credit this to Kodachi anyways.
That makes them look both crazier and better.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say he was irrational here. I think if anything, like, personally, I love the Kaguya crying scene because it makes her seem more insane and, like, more motherly love and all that. I love that for a character. Everyone else apparently hates that because it just makes her look like an idiot. The problem is, if you give Ishiki crying here, he's going to look so pathetic, and I can't believe these incompetent Otsutskis are so disrespectful.
Yeah, we're going to this, our heads into the same place.
The elephant in the room. Yeah, like, he's a grown-ass man, and he's crying. So yeah, there's that aspect. But no, I think it.
And that would happen. You would hear that.
Because I think it's even
But I
more
mean,
than parent and child. It's almost like master and student with Boruto and Sasuke, and then Kawaki and Jigen. It's about what they're being given and how that bond sort of formulates. I think that can fit as well.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good discussion. I'm actually gonna move that to intro topics because I feel like we could discuss the does Kaguya thematically work better in Boruto topic with some guests. So,
Yeah. Anyone who's seen both at least.
yeah.
Let's look at some. Okay, you wrote a bunch of new ones.
Intro topics or other picks?
Okay. No, I was looking at just these were rewrites.
Oh, okay.
I wrote a Naruto one. You wrote a Naruto one there. Okay, these are Naruto ones.
Well, do we want to stay on rewrites
Okay.
or do we want to talk on Boruto chapter 15 makes those?
I was. I mean, I'm down to look at rewrites still, but I figured you wanted to do more Boruto topics. That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
What is
Oh, Kamui?
really be an intro topic? So I'm gonna go ahead and preemptively copy it over.
Okay. You are cutting up just a little bit, but I'm sure it's probably fine. Shout out to Power to 99. Your rewrite is so much better than Diego Knights, even though that's not a very high bar. Also, how do you feel about Shogi and Ino as a couple? Personally, I hate it. I mean, technically, if we think about it, there is childhood friends. Well, shout out to Power to 99.
Okay, I feel like he's referencing Daigo's
Yeah, I feel like we're
Naruto
getting
couples that
spoilers
never
there. I'm
happened
not
video
gonna
that
lie.
I happen to have just I I just watched that recently. That's the only reason I know. But
I got that vibe too, though.
yeah, I will say, even if you don't like the couple, them being childhood friends, I don't see the problem with that. Like they could just
Yeah.
like each other over time, or they could have always liked each other and been repressing it. Like, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Naruto and Hinata were childhood friends. Sakura and Sasuke were childhood friends.
Like, what does it matter when they
So-
met? It's about when they start dating, if anything.
Yeah.
And
So I don't see any
don't know.
problem there.
Maybe it's just me. I always am just like so annoyed when people are like, "Oh, childhood love in media, gross," as if kids in real life don't have crushes, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, why is that
Yeah, I know,
inherently
it's-
bad to you? It's about how it's written. I don't understand. Like, was Hinata just gross to you in OG Naruto?
I mean, I understand like when they're doing the weird stuff with the kids, but it's just weird when they're doing the weird stuff in general. So,
Yeah.
but like just regular crushes, like what's wrong with that? But
Well, even love. Like,
Regardless.
Hinata loved Naruto in part 1. Naruto loved Sakura. I think that's not only fine, but exponentially makes the story of Naruto better.
yeah,
So, there you go. What is Black
Yeah,
Zetsu's
I really don't
purpose
see
in
the
their
problem with
Kaguya
that.
rewrite? Well, Black Zetsu was more of the medium of the history theme anyways, more so than Kaguya, in my opinion. They're like doing different parts, but like for the theme rather than the subject matter, I
Yeah.
think Black Zetsu was more of the one. He's the one writing it.
yeah. I mean, the truth is, they really just split the role into
Yeah.
two different entities that were kind of the same entity at the same time. Well, each one took a little bit more focus. Like obviously, Black Setsu's not doing the parent-child part. That's all Kaguya. Shinobi history. That's really Black Setsu's thing. Kaguya is like the representation, but Black Setsu was the doer. So yeah, he's saying Shinobi history's mine. I did it. He's not saying Kaguya did it. So it's like they're splitting the roles.
Yeah. I mean, there is a classic "they are like brothers and sister" card that people used to dismiss ships like Naruto and Sakura. No, that's weird.
Okay, but until that changes in the story,
Yeah,
like
no,
hypothetically, if they just don't be like that
people
anymore.
say that. It's like, you know why they're like brothers and sisters? Because they have a good bond. Okay, they're not like living together or whatever. They're friends
Yeah.
and friendly and have a good relationship
no.
together. Like, do you just like abusive relationships?
No. You know why they're like brother and sister?
They know
Because
each other. so well.
Sakura never likes Naruto back. That's why. You got friend zone.
There you go.
But now I will say, between Team and Shikacho, I would say, as it is, at least Shikamaru, felt more like a natural couple. But of course, Shikamaru so Tamari, so that's why everyone's gonna say Choji,
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Here's a fun one. I didn't think of this myself. Actually, I was watching. I think it was a For Neverworld video where he said this. Shinki did the same thing Kawaki did. But because of our different perspective, we're going to be praising Shinki, whereas everyone hates Kawaki. I thought that was a very fascinating point. Both orphans, both of them sealing away their fathers to protect them.
Against their father's orders.
Exactly, yeah. No, I think that's good, right?
The only difference would be Shinki wasn't planning on killing like Yodo or something. but the rest of it's the same.
I'm not saying it's the exact same, but there's enough similarities that I can point to this as like almost a hypocrisy in the community based on how the story is presented, which proves my point on other hot topics.
I mean, you could argue that there's a little bit of intentionality there. I'm not saying that is
I don't think there is.
going for, but in theory, that could be something he actually is going for. But yeah,
I mean,
I saw that and I was like, yeah, I completely agree.
Even above the sealing away the person against their orders part, the thing that gets me is this is not only the father figure, but the foster father figure of all characters. That is a big coincidence, I will admit. It's not even his real dad. Like, yeah. It's perfect. Yeah, so shout out the community for hating Kawaki but loving Shinki.
Kawaki interactions. There's a lot they could. This is why, I mean, as it is, I have a new hope, but this is why I wanted Shinki the character in the story. Which means I kind of need Shinki to get free. And I want Gaara to become a Shinju or something so that you can play around with them both losing their father and like what they're doing. Like, because they have too much in common. Kawaki and Shinki literally are the same to a large extent.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand how Shinki isn't just going to immediately get his target, as that one commenter pointed out that I think it was on your video. And you're like, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Because, like, not only is Gaara unable to get out unless the Ryu frees him, which is going to happen because it's just going to go straight there. I don't see why he wouldn't. Unless he's, like every other Shinju, he's just not going to. But he's also critically injured, and I don't see why anyone else would be around unless Yodo's just, like, scouting out the area just in case. Yeah, it's going to matter.
So what I want is for Ryu to devour Gaara, and that does whatever it does, whether that makes Gaara Shinju, kills Gaara, whatever it does do. I want that to happen. Then I want Ryu to be freed at some point after, and then we move forward with Shinki as a character. That's what I want. And I do need to update my script for that Gaara video to say that's basically what I want. Ideally, I'd like them devouring their target to do something more than just kill them. But at the end of the day, what I want is Ryu to devour Gaara. That's the target that gets devoured first.
Okay.
He's the best. He's completely defenseless. Gaara likely wasn't going to progress as a character anyway. He's more so like the thing that's going to progress others, like Naruto is to Kawaki, like we just discussed. So it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Now, I will admit it's a great way to progress the story forward. But, and I'll completely admit, this is 100% my emotions and bias, irrationally speaking. If they kill Gaara, I will never forgive them. Gaara's off limits, okay? You can't do that to my boy Gaara.
I know.
That's the problem.
I agree.
Yeah, it's no compromise.
Especially if they're not killing Sasuke when they should have. So my hope is Gaara becomes a Shinju afterwards. He might die. Maybe they'll do that. But at this point, I mean, if you can't kill Inojin and you're killing Gaara, fuck you. And I'm dropping the series.
Yeah, that would just be a spin in our face, wouldn't it? Oh my god. at that point.
You're gonna let Inoji live and not Gar.
Yeah. Okay, not gonna lie, I don't think anybody is gonna die. Tell that to the 2017 anime directors. Are like, oh, no one's off the table here. We'll kill anyone. Who was it that said it? I don't
Real
know.
quick though.
Yeah.
I know that they will never do this, but hypothetically, if they did, hear me out. If Gar died, and as goofy as this might sound, if that's the thing that makes Kawaki say, I knew it, Shinobi really are meant to die early, would you then accept it? Because they actually did something with it. In that sense.
It might be too far gone for me to ever accept it, I'll be honest. Unless Kawaki just does a mass genocide on like 90% of humanity, I don't see how they could go with that at this point. It's just so far removed from reality. Like, I almost want to think that at this point they are intentionally just making him delusional, pathetically so, by saying it, but I don't know. Like, it would almost make more sense if he just stole it from Ishiki. Like, we had a flashback and Ishiki is the one that tells him that.
See, if they were going to do that, then they should have done that in part 1.
Exactly. Yeah. So either way, it's my Jogon. It's too far gone. It's too late.
I love that. It's your...
That was low-key an Attack on Titan reference space. That's okay. With that being said, did you want to do a topic? Because I've done like every topic so far, and we're like 40 minutes in. I feel sort of bad about that, but yeah, you can choose one.
That's fine. Let me look at some Boruto ones. Well, okay, this is a stupid one that's going to take 5 seconds. So hypothetically, this won't happen. But if it did, now Bug was always drinking in Post Dimension.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if he was drunk when he got bitten by the claw grind, and Mamushi has the drunken fist amp as a result, and that just is canon. Thoughts?
I mean, you already know I'm fully on board and completely support it and want it to be the case. My follow-up question.
Yeah.
Ikimoto can only choose one or the other for the canonical explanation. Kamui, is this the drunken fist or the loopy fist?
Oh, okay. Well, because the drunken fist is Lee's official thing, I say give Bug the loopy fist.
Okay.
In honor of the English dub censorship.
Interesting. I mean, loopy is sort of...
Let's bring the loopy fist back officially.
Okay, I'm down. You convinced me. See, my explanation against that for the other way was that loopy fist is like the word for like kind of crazy, but loopy as in you're like almost like stumbling, almost like you're high on medicine. You know, it's like, if anything, you should be weaker. So, but then Bug comes across as very confident, bold, brash, brazen, sort of like crazy in like the fun kind of way. It's like the exact opposite of how you'd imagine Loopy to be.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying there. My heart wants the Loopy fist to get the respect it deserves, so yeah, it's the only way I see.
It's like, if anything,
Ash
Mamushi
just had a good point,
similar
though.
to the Raikage in personality.
Looney fist there. Yeah. Ash has a good question, though. Oodie, does Ikimoto even remember what the drunken or loopy fist is? Because he doesn't remember who Ibiki is.
Oof. That is a good question. Only one.
Okay, I have another one.
Yeah.
This one's actually perfect for Boruto Chapter 15. Makes no sense. It's probably the most on brand here. Okay, I'll just share my screen and find it for you. Okay. So, does this actually matter? No. But I'm going to bring it up anyway. So, Chapter 15. Back to, okay, so, you know, like, Shinki, father, Why father? Father. Okay, so Shinki's yelling father, okay? Then oh, you bad boy. Not doing as your papa says. Okay, so oh yeah, by the way, father. So Matsuri understands Gaara is Shinki's father. He risks his life to protect his master. Why did she choose master instead of father? Look, yes, I know. Gaara is Shinki's master.
Yeah.
I get it. And everything else she's saying is totally fine. But like, father, papa, why didn't we just use one of those words here?
Okay.
Why?
I have a couple things to say. The first thing is that blatantly on surface level, I completely agree. I'm just going to play devil's advocate to see how you respond to these justifications or defenses of this. So the first one is, what if father is just not necessarily not in Matsuri's vocab, or that she has a lisp or anything, not that she wouldn't say it, but just that papa is just preferable for her to say. So she understands the designated role of this individual and the meaning behind it, and her preferred choice of word for that individual role is papa above anything else.
Okay, then she would say to protect his papa.
Okay. So here we get into this. So, okay. So my explanation
That's what I was saying to begin with. They just say father or papa.
So, okay, well, I was finning the first thing. This is the other thing. So for this one, you're going to disagree. And that's fine. But I'm just going to throw it out there as a possibility anyways. There's a possibility that Ikimoto was going for the Japanese cultural honorific type of explanation of, like, fathers are their children's masters. For example, you can't say that at any point of time, Kid Sasuke wouldn't have viewed Fugaku as his master. That's like a respectful thing, I'd imagine.
So, whereas, yes, that makes perfect sense. What I assume that Ikimoto would have just used consistent wording. Like, if he's saying this master-like way of saying father, maybe it's a mistranslation here. Well, since I imagine he used two different words or three different words between father, papa, and master. Otherwise, I don't know why Viz would just use all three.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next explanation. What if Viz just sucks?
The other one did either. So, like, something went wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Again, not that it matters, but like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not use daddy like the other one did?
Well, to be fair, Matsuri calls Gaara daddy. We've gone too far. The community loses their minds the moment that happens. So I don't know about that.
That's perfect. We need them to lose their mind.
Fair enough. Okay. You stopped sharing your screen. Did you have another topic you wanted to do?
Well, let me see if I need to share my screen for any of these. Because I was gonna go cut up some peppers.
Okay.
Oh my god, there's so many. I gotta scroll way up now. Okay, this one's not about chapter 15. But I'm just gonna ask your thoughts on this. So I think I had another one of those comments on my Daemon video that I think made me think of this, but because I thought this for a while. But Daemon's reflection is weird. Okay, so why can't Daemon, seemingly anyway, reflect any intent without touching someone? You know, like he seemingly did with Kawaki in chapter 75, where his hand's behind the couch. So unless Ada's hair is telepathically also in front and behind the couch, so that he's touching her hair and that works. Unless there's something weird, or he touched her for a second, then put it back behind the couch. You know, unless he did something weird off screen, he reflected Kawaki's mind intent without touching anyone. Why can he do that? but he seemingly can't reflect actions that inflict harm unless he's touching someone. So I know you're probably going to disagree and say, oh, he can just turn off his ability. Go with the hypothetical for a minute because that's how it's been presented so far. In that case, what does the second part even matter if he can just reflect the intent regardless? This also makes the Code fight weird because Code was intently thinking about fighting Daemon when he wasn't reflecting things. So why are they talking about that? And then the other thing is, okay, what if they're all just wrong? Why is Ada getting upset with Bug in her mind when Bug's saying the hand thing if it's just wrong? Why is Amado mentioning the hands if it's just wrong? Why is the story mentioning the hands if it's just wrong? So I don't understand.
So the weirdest thing to me about this entire thing.
Oh, wait, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, you go first so you don't forget your thought.
Yeah, the weirdest thing for me is the fact that you're bringing this up now. Like, you're talking about this in 2024. Like, we've not only inevitably, no matter what, definitely talked about this, like, multiple times in the past. But it's, like, the most obvious surface level thing on this topic. Like, I thought it was going to be new, but it's just, like, repeating the same, treading the same material over and over. Yeah,
well, I haven't got enough of it. And then this is the other thing I said, like, this would make more sense if touching someone lets them reflect things without intent, like accidents, then he can get away with it, but he can't otherwise. But yeah, I say remove the hand thing. Anyway, that's fine. It just made me think of it again because of something I saw.
I'm fine with the hand thing. It's just wrong. So
yeah, I don't want that.
It's more fun. If they're gonna do something wrong, have it be with Daemon. Make it fun. Daemon's fun. So until they inevitably ruin Daemon, Daemon is peak as of now because they haven't ruined him yet. So I love Daemon still, knowing he will be inevitably ruined in the future. Just whatever Ikimoto touches turns to trash. But for now,
let's keep him out of the story for now. Wait, I thought of another one real quick that I can show my screen for. Okay. Do you put the react emoji to this? So you already know this one. Okay, so the question is, how, why, and when did Araya and Yodo get out of Gaara's sand? So as you can see, they're in the sandballs, still in the sandballs, still in the sandballs. Gaara is sending them out of the hideout in the sandballs. The sandballs here too. Shinki breaks out of his sandball. And oh, hey, Yodo, don't go after him. So what happened?
So
did they break out too? Did Shinki break them out? Did Shinki sealing Gaara free them and they immediately started running towards him in a blink of an eye? What happened here?
Well, the thing is that doesn't make sense to me is I agree. If Gaara gets sealed, they should be released. But Shinki was sealed, and the point is he wasn't released in terms of Gaara. Which makes no sense to me. So
it's just like they only emphasize Shinki breaking free here. So, like, if anything, like they should just be in Gaara's sandballs, leaving the hideout or something. I mean, in theory, maybe they are just at the outside of the hideout yelling, but I don't think so.
So I'll be honest, I do think there's going to be an anime and manga difference here, to where even though it wasn't shown in the manga, I think they're going to escape in the manga differently from how they escaped in the anime, and we'll never know. So I think in the anime, they are going to break themselves out, because I can't see the anime just missing up on that opportunity to show that. But I don't think they did that in the manga.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. That's what I'm hoping they do, just because that's cooler.
Yeah. I do think in the manga...
Although, at the same time, is that better, given that they're not going to do anything anyway? Like, I feel like the point with that would be that they were also going to help protect Gaara, but they don't. So why are they breaking free?
So I think in the manga, for Gaara, it's not that he like intentionally lets them go, but like he just stops holding them, a thing that like takes chakra and effort for him to do because Shinki breaks out. So it's not that Shinki broke them out, but it's because Shinki broke out, Gaara just stopped bothering to waste his energy or whatever because it's already too late. Monster's now gonna go after him, arguably.
I guess, but even still, like, this is when he's reacting. Like, they got up and running and free from that sand so fast. You don't even see sand on their clothes anymore. I don't understand.
I mean, I just still don't understand how Shinki was able to free himself. Like, if you can go to the panel where he's like sticking his hand out, you can't do that. This is sand coffin, bro. You don't move out of that.
Like, even if he's not actually crushing him, it's like, yeah, like is Shinki just stronger than Gaara?
It's not stronger than Gaara. It's stronger than Gaara's sand. Like, is he just like in base? Is his physical abilities just greater than Kimimaro Curse Mark Stage 2? I don't understand.
For no reason.
I don't
know. Okay, I found another one for my screen before I go do my cooking stuff, which I'm definitely behind on, and we're inevitably gonna go to like 11:30 as a result. But I'll try not to push us back too far. Okay. Like it's like the slug thing.
Ooh, Ash says for the Matsuri Gaara thing, didn't some unofficial translations have her say father?
I don't remember.
There you go.
I don't think I can access them anymore, unfortunately, to see. Maybe I have the other translation still up on my laptop, but I have to check in a few minutes then. I
mean, someone could go confirm if they rewatched our reaction stream to it, but we can do that some other time.
Yeah.
Wow, what's next?
I'll let you do a topic now, though.
Okay. Sure. Let me go find one. Go to Boruto topics. Okay, let's get rid of it. That one. Okay. So let me scroll down a little bit. Okay. I'm annoyed at this because you've done this as well. Why are so many people referring to Jura's attack as a beam? It's never once been a beam. So I'm specifically referring to when he like cuts off Code's arm.
That looks, well, because the one he did to Boruto and Sarada looks like a beam.
But we know it's not a beam.
Well, Naruto in Six Tails, at least in the anime, shoots Biju laser beams.
I agree.
That's where I'm getting it from. That's where I'm personally viewing it from. Okay. I can't say the same for everyone.
But it's the same thing he was doing against Himawari. He's just shooting small-tailed beast bombs, and it's like the bullet trails is what it is.
Well, it looks different than the one with Boruto and Sarada, where the way it's drawn makes it look like a laser beam.
The Boruto and Sarada one is the more blatant one to me. Like, if anything, you should be saying it for the Code one, not for the Boruto and Sarada one. Like, I thought that was clear.
I mean, I just say it because of the Naruto versus Pain fight. That's just personally. I just imagine that laser beam. This is what's coming to my head.
Oh, you mean
but
the
I don't know
filler fight? Okay.
Yes. Actually, do you want to do that topic?
Yes, I do. Okay, where was that?
Okay.
Naruto topic?
Where did I write? I think I wrote it in Naruto.
Yeah, you did because I responded.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So,
go ahead.
What was my segue topic? It had to do with something we were talking about, but I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, filler. I mean, I'll be honest. We are, in terms of stream length, we are almost 2 hours in, almost double our original plan. You said an hour and a half max, but you don't want to go that late. So we're already way past that.
Yeah, actually, before I do another topic, I need to take these out and put the eggs in. So, I'll say maybe 15 more minutes. That's about how much time I'll have left of cooking-ish.
Okay, well that's unfortunate.
This that doesn't really.
I've had
and once I'm
to
done,
so
I'll say
bad.
I'll eat so that I don't get distracted for 3 more hours. But like,
Canon.
while it's cooking, it doesn't really affect me to stay on. So
Okay, will you
kinda
be
screwed
able
either
to
way.
look at the screen anytime soon?
I can
It'll only
change
take a second.
account. Yes.
Only take a second.
Okay, then I'll go back down and do that real quick before going back upstairs.
Okay. Let me know when.
Okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've already been over this. This is just a new clip. So here you go.
Everyone is.
There you go.
Let me turn this.
That's
up.
all I had to show.
Wait, hold on. That
Oh,
was
you
quiet
didn't
for
hear?
me.
Okay.
Can you turn that up?
Oh, it's already maxed up. But can you hear?
Okay. Hold on. Why not? Oh, here we go. I try again.
So very,
All right.
very quick. But hopefully this convinces you to watch Avatar.
Formal military, but many melon cannons. Everyone is waiting.
So there you go. Felt the need to show that. That video actually did pretty well compared to what I thought. It was a couple hundred views. The first time
I'll be disappointed when I don't hear non-emo in that.
No, I'm sure it's fine. Well, you'll get to listen to it again when you watch it, and then go to that video to see what other people have to say about it. So there you go.
Well, I don't know if I'll be able to figure out what my segue topic was, but
The main difference between Naruto movies and fillers are that Naruto movies are only an hour to 2 hours, and also the animation will likely be better at the whole time. So it's a different animation studio. That's why you're probably saying it's better. And the fillers are as long. You just don't click the next episode button. I saw a meme yesterday, I think it was. I don't think I put it in hashtag art, but it was like Netflix saying to the producer, like, not to, like, to the audience member, just to you, Netflix is like, hey, do you want to watch a 10-hour movie? And the person's like, no, are you crazy? And then Netflix was like, what if I cut it up into 1 hour, 10 episodes? And they're like, I'm totally in. So they will binge something if they call it 10 episodes at an hour long instead of a 10-hour movie. Kind of a funny idea.
all right, while I do this, we can just alternate. I'll let you do. I did have one Boruto topic that maybe we'll have time for, but I'll alternate with some silly Naruto topics, and you can do whatever you want for yours. So the first one, who's been paying Kurenai's living expenses for the past 20 years?
So Shikamaru or Mirai would be fair, I think.
Yeah, I agree. That makes sense.
Or Naruto
Okay,
just waived her fee. I can understand that as well. As Hokage, he probably could do that. Or Kakashi did it for her. Or maybe Tsunade.
That was a lot quicker than okay. I don't know if I said guess or just I think I said this when we were watching, but how did Kurenai not know who Ibiki was when Ibiki was in her academy class and took the tuning exams together?
See,
with
that's
her and
just
everything?
proof that that's just either filler or just inconsistent or just doesn't matter. Like, Kishimoto's not thinking about that when he's writing Obito's flashback. I'm sorry to say it. But...
Yeah.
So either he just wasn't there, or that wasn't Ibiki, or forgot, or just didn't care. And the real answer is Kishimoto
it's not Ibiki.
Yeah, exactly.
But even still, Ibiki is in her age. Like, he graduated the same time as her, Asuna, and everyone else.
Mm-hmm. It's also possible she knows who Ibiki is, but just doesn't know, like, his skill set or anything. In the same way that Naruto knew who Shino was, but just forgot him over the time skip.
Let me double check this.
The real explanation is that it was just the best for the story.
Yeah.
So you can't really cut either out.
In the anime, at least, she was like, who is that? And then Asuka was like, oh, I forgot, you just became a Jonin, so you don't know about this yet.
Yeah. It makes sense
Didn't know who
that
Ibiki was.
people who aren't Jonin wouldn't know Ibiki's special thing. That's fair to understand.
I mean, he's only a special Jonin, though. He's not even a like full Jonin.
I would consider it Jonin. You still got to be appointed in the same way.
I would too.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I agree. In the manga, he is just a Jonin, but
That is all, yeah. Do you have to be a Chunin to be appointed
Okay, so-
special Jonin, or can anyone be appointed special Jonin regardless of rank?
So they're talking about
Kakashi made it seem like Naruto could skip becoming a Chunin and just go straight to Jonin. But he never did, but Kakashi made it seem like he could. So I guess. Oh. Anyway.
Kakashi says, that's sadist. Why did I have to be Ibiki? And then Kurenai says, sadist. And then Aspa says, Kurenai, you're still a newbie to the Jonin Elite, so you have no way of knowing. And then, so at first it's like, okay, she could just not think he's a sadist. But then Kurenai's like, why? What's he like? And then Aspa says, he's a pro. A pro's pro. A pro? Torture and interrogation. Blah, blah, blah. So you could argue the way the manga presents it, maybe she knows Ibiki, but she just doesn't really know what Ibiki's like. You could argue that.
In terms of Kurenai paying her rent or whatever, you could also argue she just doesn't do ninja stuff anymore, or she takes like D rank missions gonna get cats, or just helps around the village and other people help her out in general as well. She could maybe not have like an official job, but like she could just work around like side hustles or whatever as well. Just anything really.
Yeah.
I don't think her house is that.
Now.
Yeah, I think Mirai is really a big contender. But it could also be, again, like a Hiruzen Naruto situation. Other people just helping her out. Understandably so. Or she could also just have a lot of money saved up from when she was a ninja. I don't know about like 30 years worth of an allowance on a house, but you know. Or she could have just had her house paid off. So she just doesn't have to pay for it.
Yeah, but I think Shikamaru was the best, most impactful.
Probably, yeah. I like it. Anyways. I mean, they make a killing as a ninja. I'll be honest. Like, the ninjas are just straight up loaded. It's kind of crazy. Or at least the high rank missions. Like, honestly, I'm kind of impressed that Jiraiya was able to drain Naruto's bank account so easily so many times. How did he only have a frog wallet? That just doesn't make sense based on how much money he should have been making.
Well, Ryan wasn't going on missions. He was just doing his own thing.
No, I mean Naruto.
Oh. Low-paying missions.
I guess so. Do you think, okay, how much money do you think Naruto got for the Land of Waves mission? Do you think he did get the C rank or whatever its original rank mission funding was? Probably.
Honestly, I couldn't afford it.
Like, he just got underpaid for that job. It sort of sucks for him. To be fair, I do feel like it's the village that pays the ninja rather than the, what is it, I guess the customers themselves?
No, I think, well, it's possible that they did for that case, but Tazuna made it seem like he had to pay for it.
Okay, you need to change your microphone or something because you are very quiet.
No, it's because I'm looking
Or, I
away.
don't know,
I should have moved this. My hands are dirty now, though. So.
Well, that's not helpful. Well, I guess I'll talk while you get closer to your microphone or something. It was Ibiki's evil brother, Abiki. Abaki. Okay, limits. Shout out that version. Let's go back to Boruto topics. Here's a fun one for chapter 15 makes no sense. Not really, chapter 15 makes no sense, but we'll do this one. Amado shouldn't even need to be in front of Kawaki to activate his shutdown code, considering he can watch at any time. I'm curious what you think about that, but I'll say it next one as well. Why didn't Amado have sight through all of Kara's eyes? Or do you think he did, even? Why only Kawaki and Koji's one singular toad, seemingly? Amado made it clear he didn't realize Koji was alive, meaning he didn't check or spy in on Koji or his toad's eye camera for the past 3 years. Which tells me I don't think he had one in Delta or Boro or any of them. He seemed not surprised, but like, I don't know, like when Delta's drone came back, doesn't seem like he knew what happened in the fight. Amado. So I don't understand. Like, obviously, like I don't think Jigen would have let him. Maybe he could have done it anyways. He probably had to do maintenance on Jigen at some points, right? Probably. So I'm assuming that could have been a thing if he wanted it to. But it's just weird that he has it in Kawaki's eye, but like not anyone else's eye when everyone else is also still getting maintenance. Like, if anything, put it on the unpredictable ones like Code or Delta, considering that's your daughter. That's the one you're most emotionally invested in. I imagine that's who you would want to have it in more than anyone, probably. Even more than Kawaki, I'd imagine. That's
he does have
my
Delta.
thoughts.
You cannot hear me.
Well,
all three are different.
Can you hear me?
Which is good.
Yep.
So, granted, with that argument, you could say, okay, I guess Kaguya's relationship.
thoughts?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Paused. As I said, I guess you just didn't hear me the whole time. But
No, I didn't.
he does have a camera in Delta's drone. Not her eyes, seemingly, but her drone.
Yeah.
So he can't watch through Delta.
Yeah. That's not her eyes. Though.
That's a. Yeah, but it's close enough that I'm gonna count it.
Sure.
That's it. Yeah, the rest, like, yeah,
I don't even
why
know if Delta
not?
still had the drone.
We don't know like what he needs to do it, but I don't see why he can't just build it in code or whatever. Like, I can understand whatever, Boro. Who cares about Boro? But like, yeah, why not have one in
Since
code?
Boro's
Maybe he
gonna
does
go
secretly
protect Naruto against Sasuke, you'd imagine he'd at least want to know what happened. He could have saw Borushiki early.
Yeah, I would say theoretically it is possible he does have one in code. We just don't know it yet. And maybe he had one in Boru and he just wasn't looking during that time for whatever reason. Koji's ridiculous though. Yeah, it seems like he only had it in the one code. Like either that or he just never thought to look because he thought he was dead.
And considering his plan.
But now that he knows Koji is alive, or at least suspects it, he should just check the camera code to see. Unless now there is some evidence to support this. Unless he can only check Koji's camera codes if Koji is sending it to Amado of his own volition. Because of the weekend fight conversation thing, Koji was actually transmitting it to Amado's glasses. He literally says like, "Oh, I'm getting a feed from my collaborator." The Koji was sending him that footage, so maybe it requires Koji in that one's case.
Whereas,
but then,
okay,
why?
Why?
Just make it so he can do it anyway.
Because Kawaki he just doesn't know. So
yeah, and that's what it understands. Like it's because unless it's revealed that it is that way, it's just plot convenience.
Well, no, because like Amado like had internal monologue thought of like, oh, I didn't realize Koji was still alive. Like, if anything, what you're saying, that should have been Amado's tactic to make Koji trust him. Like, oh, wow, really? You're going to ask for my consent for the video? Then he's not even going to think that Amado might have installed a secret camera inside him. Makes him just look more trustworthy.
That's a cool, that's a smart idea, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Okay. Next topic?
I don't think he did that, though.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, since we're talking about Amado, I have 11 minutes on my This can probably be my last Boruto topic and let you finish. We'll just see what time gets us. So this had to do with Amado's limiters on Kawaki. Let me go find it real quick.
It's right here, yeah.
10:28,
2 p.m. Or really 1:56, but it's on my screen if you'd rather look at it that way.
Okay, yeah, let me just do that then. Yeah. So it's about like the question of when did Amado install the limiter? So I said Amado had to have installed the limiters in see-through Kawaki's eye technology pre-time skip, probably when he restored his karma, or else everyone would already know that Amado thinks he was the one who modified Kawaki's body pre-chapter 5, since Samurai and Sai are always watching him, which means Amado didn't do maintenance on Kawaki during the time skip, or else Shikamaru, Sai, and Samurai are the dumbest people on the planet for not, like, why would Shikamaru let Amado do stuff to Kawaki, who he thinks is Boruto, if Kawaki wasn't from Gaara, when he already doesn't trust Amado too? That makes no sense. Yeah. But if Amado already limited Kawaki pre-time skip, on the other end of the spectrum, that doesn't explain Kawaki seeming so weak post-time skip, since Kawaki was plenty strong in the Code and Prophecy arcs. So did the limiters even matter in that case? The only explanation around this is that Amado can do maintenance / limit Kawaki remotely, as he installed the technology in chapter 56, but maybe he didn't do the actual limiting of his power until during the time skip. In this last case, this would be basically the reverse of removing Code's limiters. He would install the thingy that he needs to do. Then he would say a command over the time skip when he sees Kawaki, like, I don't know, hey, I'm going to the store. Let's say that's the command. And then it limits Kawaki then. That's the only way to get around this.
In which case, he could have put limiters on Kawaki at literally any point. Like the second that Kawaki got the black karma seal, that could have been like the perfect instance to put the limiter on him, but not have it be a limiter yet. Just in case Jigen takes over, then he's sort of
like it could literally be any time.
Yeah.
And that obviously we don't know there. In that case, the point is that it was pre-time skip in that case. But yeah, like, but let's assume he didn't do that for a second. Thoughts?
Well, yeah, because I agree. I don't think Kawaki got maintenance over the time skip. We've talked about this before. We'll talk about this in the future. It just makes sense that he just didn't. Not only power scaling wise, but just every other reason, obviously, as well. Some of the reasons you pointed out here, even. A couple counters to this would be, why would he wait till the time skip to activate it? Because, like, what's the point of the limiters in the first place? Unless they're going to introduce something new, then as of right now, the point should be it's because Amado wants to protect Akapi's data, or Kawaki just adds a vessel for Akapi. But then he would have wanted that from the second that he had Akapi's data, which would have been Code Arc, I think. Or, well, he doesn't have Akapi. I don't know. Does he have it? What was your interpretation on that?
Well, he has Akapi's data all the time, but it's not in Kawaki until the Code Arc.
Yeah. Okay, so then he would be limited at the Code Arc, seemingly.
Yeah, but that seems weird considering how he doesn't feel weak at all in that arc. If anything, he feels absurdly strong. Everyone's comparing him to Jigen and Ishiki in power. Kawaki sure as hell doesn't feel weak. He sure as hell doesn't look weak. So then why does he seem so weak in the time skip?
Yeah. So I think it is during the time skip. I would say after the prophecy arc specifically. But my question is why? And my question's why because it makes no sense. Because the point of doing the limiters, whether it's putting it on him earlier and activating it here, or just putting it on him here, why, when it makes no sense, when he should want to do the limiters, because protecting Kawaki for Akabi's data.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Which doesn't even work, the way, considering every other scenario happens with the end of the world, such as Code killing Kawaki. I guess Amado didn't think that one through, did it? Maybe Kawaki wasn't limited, he would have lost.
Or maybe in those futures, Kawaki wasn't limited, and that's why he lost.
Okay. Well,
It is weird though.
Yeah.
Like, if I mean, like, we need to see what his regen looks like, because if it's not like Boro's level, it's just like, what is he gonna do?
well,
He's gonna
the
die
problem
anyway if he
is,
gets eaten.
we've already
So
seen
just make
it.
him stronger offensively so he can kill the Tentacles instead.
We have already seen it, just not visually. They just said he healed fast after Jura.
Hit him. It's not like Jura. We don't see damage on Kawaki.
Yeah, because he healed fast.
What's the problem though? It's like, but they've been doing this since the beginning. They've always been gassing up Kawaki's healing abilities.
Exactly.
We never get to see it.
Yeah, like we couldn't even tell. That's the problem. Like if Boruto never said he was limited, we'd be none the wiser.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
couple
We'll see what they do with
counters
it.
against things that you've said is, I don't know if Shikamaru and Sai are always 24/7 surveillance keeping an eye on Amado. Could just be most of the time, or some of the time, or half the time. We just don't know if it's always. And I'm sure he knows when he's being kept an eye under, so he would just take advantage of the times that he's not.
I'll offer this then as an additional thing. We've already discussed this before, but Amado has known from the beginning, since he saw Kawaki's karma seal, that he modified Kawaki, says himself. Amado seemingly hasn't talked to Kawaki about this. I assume because he doesn't want to give himself away or something, but he seemingly hasn't had Kawaki do his plan yet. It doesn't even seem like he's talked to Kawaki very much. If that's the case, like if Amado's, secretly modifying Kawaki at night when everyone else is asleep, but Kawaki's gonna know that Amado knows he modified him. Like, so I don't think he did do that.
I don't know. I have another counter to this, and this is the one that, I'll be honest, I was dreading saying, because I know this is the one that you're gonna hate the most. You're just not gonna accept this. I'm gonna say it anyways, because it probably is the explanation that Ikimoto's going with, even though I agree it makes no sense. It's omnipotence. Omnipotence just made them forget that he did this to Kawaki. Just Shikamaru just doesn't remember Amado limiting him post time skip because of omnipotence.
So
I have a couple pieces of evidence. So the first thing is, because I already know what you're going to say, well, that's not how omnipotence works. It just switches people's memories of Boruto and Kawaki. I agree.
Well,
except
that's
already not how it works.
Go for, but go for yours first.
Because first of all, Shikamaru just stopped hounding Kawaki about Momoshiki. Why? Okay, well, I guess his memory stopped. That's fine, I guess, but still doesn't make as much. But the one I'm leaning towards more directly is the fact that Shikamaru seemingly, I'm gonna say seemingly, he seemingly forgot about what Amado said, that thing that you're referencing that Amado said. He forgot that surveillance footage during Boruto's interrogation when he can't remember any reason to trust Boruto, which is the reason he contacted Boruto in the first place. Right?
You know what? Yeah. Like,
there you go. Either that or Ikimoto forgot. So...
Yeah, I was gonna say one or the other. What I was gonna point to though wasn't that. It's that can, I guess, work for those perspectives, but it still doesn't address Kawaki knowing that Amado knows who Kawaki actually is. Because if Amado's modifying and maintenance on him, Kawaki knows. Like, yeah, you know who I am. There's no way around that.
Kawaki cares is the problem. Like, I still don't know what his thoughts are on Sarada, even now. Sarada's thoughts.
What's the problem?
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the problem with Kawaki. We don't know how Kawaki feels about anything other than that he wants to kill Boruto. It's the only thing, and that Mitsuki annoys him.
And even that, he doesn't want to do anymore. He doesn't want to kill Boruto right now either, so he's just nothing right now.
Don't know.
Our
It's
main
crazy
character,
to forget
everyone.
more about his feelings on Mitsuki than Sarada, the girl he tried to kill. Like,
Oh my god. Yeah.
well, I'll let you
made
do one more
point.
topic,
Okay.
I guess, to finish it out.
Yeah, we'll do
My time is
another
about to go
Amado
off, so-
one just for relevance of Amado. I think there was one more thing I had to say on Amado in terms of what you were saying. Just another possibility against something, but maybe we covered it all. I can't remember. Yeah, I'll just go to the next Amado point. Okay, so this is the one that, like, that was your Amado one. This is my big Amado one. That was crazy to me when I realized it. So, Amado told Shikamaru in chapter 80 that Amado has a shutdown code in order to handle Kawaki. That was Amado's way of saving the village, essentially, in the prophecy arc. Like, if omnipotence never happened, that was Amado's plan. And obviously, Shikamaru turned it down because at that point he considered Kawaki too far gone, and he's just gonna kill him, etc., etc. It's a little bit weird, by the way, in my opinion, that he was going to do that anyways. Like, if omnipotence never happened, he's just shutting down Amado's proposal. That's weird, but whatever. But
Well, no, here's the thing.
he basically said there's no
here's the thing.
time. Which, why, first of all? What do you mean there's no time?
Yeah, but like he could also just like backstab Amado, be like, okay, and then kill him. Like it'd be a lot easier to kill him if he's shut down.
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, so that's not my point. That's like the premise context going into my point. We did have omnipotence happen. So now, because of omnipotence, Shikamaru now thinks that Amado has a shutdown code for Boruto. That doesn't matter as much in the like chapter like 8 to like 12 range or whatever, but especially during the first couple chapters of Two Blue Vortex, when Boruto, who he thinks is Kawaki, the one who killed Naruto, is invading the village seemingly with code. Why didn't he ask Amado to shut down Boruto at any point in the beginning of Two Blue Vortex? Because remember, the original excuse is that, oh, there was no time in the prophecy arc. Well, there's definitely time now. There's been 3 years worth of time over the time skip. Sure, he wasn't in the village. But here, Kawaki isn't running away from the village. Boruto is invading the village, seemingly to attack it. You know, the same village that Amado is in. It could just, like, walk through his window and be like, hey, Kawaki, fall asleep. And he just does. That's what he could just do to Boruto, is what Shikamaru should be thinking. You know, Boruto, the guy, seemingly strong. Stronger than anyone.
Like, when it starts, I can understand, like, okay, they keep, like, Boruto starts just fighting Code and shit, and he can, okay, let's wait a minute. But Shikamaru, at the very least, should have been thinking, like, should we have, like, what's his motive? Should we have Amado shut him down? Just a singular thought bubble would have been good.
Yeah, like, we have Ada contacting him, and he's like, oh, sorry, Ada can't talk now. I'm too busy talking to Nishi and telling him what to do. Like, what are you doing, bro? Talk to freaking Amado. Get Amado there more than Nishi. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't understand why they do so much with Nishi. It's like, I understand, like, the meme of having Nishi there and whatnot, but, like, you can't just be having Nishi take the place of, like, the people who should be there.
Like, sorry, Ada, I'm too busy to talk to you. I'm currently trying to figure out what happened to my police force I sent to go deal with Jura. Like, bro, where's the Anbu? Oh, whatever. Anyway,
where is the old gen?
It's not just Shikamaru, because I can't imagine Shikamaru just didn't tell anyone over the last 3 years that what he thinks Boruto should have a shutdown code. So why didn't anyone ask Amado ever? Unless Shikamaru just kept that information to himself for some reason. Like, for example, like, he's like the Vice Hokage. I'm assuming Konohamaru, Shikamaru is like the Hokage. So Konohamaru, the Vice Hokage, should probably know this information. Why wasn't Konohamaru contacting Amado, if anything?
Why was it Sai contacting?
Yeah,
Amado? He's
like,
right there.
Like, Or Ibiki. Shouldn't Ibiki have wanted Amado in the interrogation room just in case? Like, Boruto couldn't have a flying Raijin away if Amado said, hey, Boruto, your dress code, the moment the handcuffs came off. Plus, it sort of calls Amado out. Like, if you don't trust Amado, this is your perfect chance to see if Amado's actually trustworthy or whatever.
Or an interesting thing would be if he said, I can't do it.
Exactly.
Like, whether he's playing the actor or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, and they'd be like, why can't you? And he says, because the shutdown code's on Kawaki. Like, if you, that would be such a fucking interesting thing to do. Because,
Exactly.
no, think about it. Boruto doesn't want to reveal it, but Amado actually does.
Ooh.
Whether it's intentional or not. That's interesting.
And then especially Shikamaru or anyone else could just confront Boruto on that. Boruto doesn't want to confront that.
Yeah,
so,
and then
like,
another interesting thing, though, is the conflict in Boruto's. Because what if not revealing Kawaki's stuff leads to a good future, but Amado doing this fucks everything up?
That's good.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
now I wish that was in there.
Because it doesn't have to be Boruto. The village could force Kawaki into a corner to make him take drastic action again.
Exactly. The point is, it leads to it. Because now everyone says, because nobody's going to believe Boruto anyway. But they might, I mean, Shikamaru believes Amado at least. So, like, that could create the division he was worried about. Now, obviously, they could still do this at any given point. But I think during the interrogation, that could have been really freaking cool if they told Amado to shut him down and he was like, I can't. It's on Kawaki. Like, that's, I wish that was in there.
Yeah. Especially coming from Amado, of all people, who has inherent susness out of anyone else it could have been from the village.
Literally. Oh my god. What a wasted opportunity.
I'm saying. Yeah, that was my Amado.
And honestly, though, that would make Boruto teaming up with Kawaki more impactful. Let's just say you keep that. Boruto's like, Kawaki, I did not, like, intend on that. And, like, Kawaki would notice, like, hey, you didn't tell on it, blah, blah, blah. And be like, look, Kawaki, I know what Amado said. I'm going to try to take the blame, whatnot. I don't want you, blah, blah, blah. Let's team up. That makes our team up feel more impactful. Because
this also,
it's like,
this leads
Boruto's
way better.
actively going to try to, Boruto will actively try to make himself look bad for Kawaki.
Yeah. This also leads better into whatever Kawaki is going to do to confront Amado about the limiters. It's just a second thing. Also leads better into the limiters as well.
Literally, bro. Like, and that would be an interesting conversation, whether Amado knows about omnipotence or not, because he either knows and will do whatever he does, or he doesn't know and he's going to figure it out and talk to Kawaki, basically see through it while they're talking. And that would be tense.
The question is, when would you reveal this?
Because Amado could be like, Amado in either case could be like, Kawaki, I either know what you've done or I figured out what you've done. And if you don't do my plan, I will expose you to the village. Like, he can literally blackmail him.
You know what? Okay. I hate to say this, but because they did nothing with Ibiki anyways, just replace Amado, or Ibiki with Amado. That's way more inherently interesting given this idea anyways, considering it's almost like a protagonist-antagonist Boruto versus Amado, almost having to speak in like a double language to get around what everyone else doesn't know.
Yeah. Like, and obviously you're going to remove, Amado's not going to, like, bash Boruto's face in the table, but in this case, it's like a chess match to where Boruto knows Amado is smart. He probably, whether or not Amado is immune or not, he might know, he might suspect, doesn't matter. The point is, he knows to be careful when talking to him. And, you know, they're going to be going through this, like, okay, what can I say to get around the other person's thoughts? And it would be interesting to get to that moment when, like, Amado gets him or whatever.
Yeah. Plus,
in a way he didn't expect.
No offense to Ibiki, but it almost makes more sense and probably more effective to bring Amado in to interrogate who they think to be Kawaki anyways. Like, hypothetically, let's just say Naruto went rogue in Shippuden and was caught. Are you going to bring in Ibiki, or are you going to bring in, to interrogate Naruto, Aruka? I think that would be more effective. Like, it's not like a one-for-one comparison.
One. I mean,
but
I will say Ibiki is supposed to do what we were talking about, where Ibiki plays the mind game to get like the trick board to like that. So obviously, if you just have Ibiki do what Amado is doing in this hypothetical, it's fine. The only good thing about Amado in this case is, we'll just say it's Amado, who doesn't want him, but B, because then it very seamlessly would tie into the shutdown thing, unless Ibiki does this and then says, Amado, shut him down, and then you do that. But
I have a way around this.
I like the mind game leading into the shutdown thing, though.
Yeah, so what if you just bring in Ibiki to figure out the same thing about Pain, that he has like 20 walls of blockages. In this case, Ibiki could make it clear that this scientific ninja tech developed by Amado, so this is your reason of getting Amado in. And there you go. Just proceed from there.
Well, the problem is it wouldn't actually be there, though. Boruto wouldn't have that ninja tech.
You could say that Koji would have it there, or that Koji gave it to him from Amado. Like, Amado put it into Koji, Koji took it out, put it into Boruto.
Well, what I was going to say is just have Koji... There's a few options you could take here. I'll give you the first option.
Hold on, real quick. This could just also be your way of Amado figuring out that Koji's still alive right here in the moment to get his reaction live in front of everyone, including Boruto, rather than what they did.
That's true. I think that works. I'm going to give you two things you could do here. Okay. One will be slightly different than you or your thing. The first is, so Koji will just do, I guess, standard Genjutsu blocks like the one painted on the Rain Village Ninja, and Ibiki will assume it's ninja tech stuff, and then Amado will be like, I didn't do anything to Boruto in his mind. And then maybe he's like, someone else did this who could be working with him, and then he can maybe suspect Kashin Koji through that. And then obviously that's the same reason to get Amado. The other thing you could do is Ibiki is trying to interrogate him, and then eventually he just says, like, sorry, Shikamaru. No, real quick, actually. They should have done this in the chapter 2. What I'm about to say, they should have... Why are they bringing... I know Shikamaru, obviously, but why are they bringing Mitsuki in? Why aren't they saying, why don't we have Amado shut him off?
Yeah.
Like Ibiki should have been like, okay, he stopped talking. Amado, shut him off. We'll read his mind.
Yeah.
But I like the other idea of he has some sort of mental blocks. So this way you're addressing psycho mind transmission. You can't use it. Koji did whatever he did. This leads to Amado getting suspicious, and then he starts to play his mind games, and you get into the I can't shut you down reveal. And then how that influences Kawaki and so on.
God, it makes infinite more sense than Mitsuki's nonsensical poison. Especially from Mitsuki of all people who wants to kill Boruto. From their perspective.
Man, I know they were opposing to it, but like they didn't even... Like, it would have been nice for like someone to say... Like, Konohama should say, like, Shikamaru, I don't think that's a good idea. Why don't we have Amado shut him down instead? Like, he should have said that. The problem is... But Shikamaru's counter to that.
Exactly, because that's the point. Yeah, it's like there is no counter to that. He's gonna have to make up some BS.
Yeah, you're right. Why don't we? I guess you could say, I don't want Amado anywhere near him. Like, could be his.
That could work. Yeah, like I don't trust that bastard Amado. Even if they're like referencing the fact that the like thing they heard that Amado said over the surveillance, then they could have like tied that in to where Amado purposefully said that, knowing this interrogation or something like it could have happened. It's like almost like a Death Note level move, just like thinking 5 steps in advance. Amado like left that for this scene in particular.
That could be interesting, bro. All I'm saying is, they should have done something along these lines.
Yeah. Well, that's Amado for you. So there you go. Is that end of stream?
I think that's a good place to end. I'm an hour later than I wanted, but that's okay. That's my own fault.
Okay. Well.
So short for us. So
let me see if any chats came in recently. Nope. Well, goodbye. All right, bye, space. Over now. perfect time because I have to go to the bathroom really bad.